The Borders and Los Cedros Apartments are proud sponsors of UTB Radio. The Borders is located at 375 Media Luna Road and Los Cedros at 1025 Waldrose Lane in Brownsville, Texas. For more information, call The Borders at 956-546-1605 or Los Cedros at 956-542-1941. UTB Radio is sponsored in part by T-Mobile.
Hello, I'm Xavier Castañeda, music manager for UTB Radio. I'm here today with Patrick Garcia. He's a promoter for Tigersblood.org.
Hey there, thanks for having me.
Please tell me a bit about yourself.
Cool. Well, I've been kind of involved with the local music scene for about, I want to say 10 years, but I don't think it's been that long, to be totally honest. I just really like getting involved with putting on concerts and checking out local musicians, as well as going to as many out-of-town concerts as I possibly can. It's just a passion of mine, just music and writing and art. So I try my best to, I guess, facilitate, a greater awareness of these things in the Valley, particularly in McAllen, but that's really only because I live there. So anytime I have an opportunity to work with an underground or an independent artist or even a touring artist that perhaps is not huge or on a mainstream level, I'm going to do my best to take it, because basically I know what it's like to live down here and perhaps not have access to these sort of touring artists or musicians that would otherwise be playing Austin or Houston or Dallas. So I do my best to facilitate, events and things as such, to kind of, also create an awareness of these artists, but also fulfill that need for people who perhaps don't have the opportunity to drive to Austin or to Houston and whatnot to check out these sort of events.
How did you get into the business?
Well, I started helping a friend out, putting on concerts maybe about 5 years ago, and it was originally just working with local bands, putting on shows with local bands, and it was a lot of fun. But then I kind of wanted to not move away from working with local bands, but to start approaching out-of-town bands and touring bands and bands that, I felt I really wanted to see, but again, couldn't afford to see because they were in Austin or they were playing in Houston. So I eventually split up with my former partner and just started, just kind of taking this on my own. At the same time, I was also in a band that would tour and things like that, and I knew how hard it was also for a touring band to play and to find a good promoter to take care of them. So there was all sorts of factors for why I started, but the main one was just kind of, to be honest, personal, selfish reasons. I just wanted to see good bands that I really liked and that other people might have liked in this area that otherwise would have never really come here.
What upcoming shows can we look forward to?
I'm really looking forward to Shabazz Palaces. They're a hip-hop group out of Seattle, and they're just really out there. They're very experimental, and they're always kind of ahead of the game. Their lead singer, Ismail Butler, used to be in Diggable Planets, which was this exceptional Grammy Award-winning hip-hop band in the 90s, and then kind of fell into obscurity for about 15 years and then came back with this new hip-hop group, Shabazz Palaces. And just like with Diggable Planets, they're way ahead of their time. And we're only now kind of like appreciating Diggable Planets on an alternative level. And I don't know, I'm just really excited. I cannot believe that they're even coming to South Texas, to be honest. They're only playing like maybe 10 dates in the United States, and McAllen, Texas, for whatever reason, one of them. I'm also really looking forward to Spray Paint this Saturday. They're a band out of Austin, and they're playing at Cine Ray, where Shabazz Palaces is also playing, and they're great. They're just a post-punk band. They're playing with Cutters and this great band called The Rebel out of Scotland, so that should be great. And then I have this artist named Angel Olsen, and she's playing November 6th at Cine Ray, and that's a little bit of ways, but she's a great artist, and I can't believe she's not bigger than she really is. She's got a beautiful voice, and she's just a brilliant songwriter, kind of this folk, punk, country sort of feel, but it's beyond all that. So those are the three main ones that I'm really, really looking forward to be honest.
From all the musicians you've booked, who has been your favorite?
By favorite, do you mean favorite artist or just favorite performance, or
I would say like who have you been like most excited about?
Man, that's tough. Every artist I book is usually an artist that I've been trying to book for years at a time or months at a time. So every time I confirm anything, whether it's like a really big artist or an even small up-and-coming artist, it kind of has the same sort of reward for me. It sounds cheesy, but it really is true, because I really do work hard to get some of these artists. And I mean, I felt really, really excited when I scored this band called Merchandise last March, because they're just this exceptional band, and they wrote one of my favorite songs of all time, the song called Become What You Are. And they're just this great Florida post-punk band. And when they played in March last year in McAllen, they didn't even play the song that I really, really wanted them to. And so that was a little bit disheartening, but it kind of made me want to book them again, which I did, because I'm just obsessed with that band. I also was really excited about Destruction Unit, and that band sounds like their name. And that's pretty much what they did when they played in McAllen last summer. And I was also really excited about the Zombies this past May. They're this sort of legendary, sort of shadowy underground 60s pop band from Britain, and I just couldn't believe I booked them. Maybe they were like old enough to be, you know, my grandparents or something, and they're these legends just hanging out at CNL Ray before their gig, and they were so humble, and, you know, just a huge show for me. Because they were just on this realm where they were, you know, these hit-making artists out of the 60s, but at the same time, this also obscure artists, so they kind of fell into the realm of music that I really liked, of being obscure and independent almost, which is pretty much what they are now, despite the fact that they're all in their 60s and 70s. So that was a very, very deeply rewarding show for me.
Which has been the best performance you've seen so far? Not including shows that you've booked.
Not including shows that I booked? Oh man, that's tough. The best performance that I've seen, man, that is an incredibly tough show. Tough question. There are definitely performances that sort of stick out. I saw Morrissey in Austin, and that was actually really disappointing. But I guess it sticks out because it was so disappointing, and I had all these expectations. But I guess he needs to get rid of that band. I don't know. That's all I got to say about that.
I think he has to get rid of his attitude.
Oh, that too, possibly. The voice, though, it was angelic. But you're right. Perhaps the attitude as well, or at least have it grow up a bit. I don't know. Who knows? I was really impressed with Mac DeMarco when I saw him. He kind of took the stage when I saw him last March at CNL Ray, and he had this sort of goofy, relaxed attitude and this demeanor, and he was very charismatic, and everybody seemed to eat it up. But at the same time, his band was so impossibly tight. Like, they were just these studio musician types that didn't look it, but certainly played it, and it was just incredible. I mean, and it's, well, I guess a lot of people aren't expecting that, but yeah, Mac DeMarco was phenomenal. And I don't know, I've seen so many bands, to be totally honest with you. It's going to be tough for me to really, really draw that out. I'm only thinking about like the most recent shows that I've seen, of course, but jeez. I'm sorry. I really don't know, to be honest.
That's okay. Anything else you want to tell the audience?
I mean, I feel like if you're listening to this interview, it's probably because you might or be a friend of mine or an acquaintance or just despise me or something, but it's all good. But I do want to say, like, I think it's really important to support these sort of visions of a local band, or the idea of somebody doing something original or different. Not that I'm doing that, but I certainly do my best to support artists or bands that I think are doing something cool and unique and are specifically doing original things. And I think it's important to challenge yourself, to ask yourself, I could see a cover band, and I have nothing against cover bands, or I can go to a movie, but there's also artists out there, there's galleries out there, there's shows out there with these underground artists or these overlooked independent artists that don't get booked too often. And I think it's really important to support that, or to support creative expression, especially in an area like South Texas where there's so much to respond to. And a lot of these good artists are doing exactly that, and they're also creating sounds and styles that I think are unique, because you can definitely be an original band but not be original. So I definitely think it's important to support those artists that are doing something left of center or are doing something different, because I think we need it. And whether you're in Brownsville or Harlingen or McAllen or Rio Grande City, I think that that sort of support goes a long way, whether you're going to a show or to an art gallery or just listening to your friend's demo, encouraging them to write more music and stuff. I think it's really important to do that.
Thank you for joining us, Patrick.
Cool. Thank you for having me.
Keep watching UTB Radio and listening to UTB Radio.
UTB Radio is sponsored in part by Valley Federal Credit Union, located at 183 Price Road. For more information, call 956-546-3108.